The Austrian Alps, a holiday paradise for many. But DTM boss Gerhard Berger has a winter full of hard work behind him. His project, the DTM, is always on his mind. For me and for our team, there's never a question that winter is the time when the work has to be done. The season has to be prepared and the field has to be put together. And that is what we did. We took it really seriously too. And it was worth it. We're now going into our second year, and what I've seen so far is an extremely strong field. I think that word got around the motorsport industry last year that DTM is the toughest GT touring car series in the world. I see that we'll have an even tougher championship than last year, and I'm already really looking forward to it. And so are the fans, as this is what's in store for them. At first sight, it's already clear. The 2022 DTM field is as good as they come. Last year there were 19 permanent competitors, and now there are 30 cars. An enormous step, not only in terms of quantity, but first and foremost in terms of quality.
Well, it will be a super tough year. I think one of the toughest DTM season ever.
Oh man, I don't know what to expect. DTM this year is packed full of good drivers and top teams.
The grid is simply incredible. Gerhard and their team, they did an outstanding job.
One of the toughest championships out there, especially this year. I think we've taken another step.
For sure one of the top championships all over the world.
The drivers will be racing for 17 teams, alongside Audi, Ferrari, BMW, Mercedes-AMG and Lamborghini. Porsche is also now a fixed element.
It's great to be here as one of the first drivers from Porsche in DTM.
Being part of DTM is great. It's a dream come true.
As well as being the first Norwegian driver ever in DTM. It's pretty cool, so super excited.
We're on this journey together and I hope it's a successful one.
New for this year are 2 circuits on the calendar. The season opener will be held in Portugal at the end of April. A real highlight.
For me, it's actually my favorite track on the calendar and almost my favorite I've ever driven.
A lot of elevation changes, high speed, low speed, technical.
Roller coaster, I would say, a lot of up and down, blind corners, actually a really cool layout.
Quite a tricky track to set up the car for, but once you really get the good balance, it's a real pleasure to drive on Portimao.
Emotions are guaranteed in June as DTM visits the circuit of Imola in Italy for the first time in its long history.
I think that it's definitely one of the coolest tracks that we have in Europe.
I heard it's an extremely fun track.
A lot of high curbs which you have to take.
It could be good for some Instagram content.
It's a very historic racetrack and it still has got that old school character, which is really nice.
It's really one of those few racetracks which still has a character in them. Imola will be our home race, not only for myself but also for the brand, so definitely it's going to be a cool weekend.
DTM is going into its second season of GT3 regulations and is delighted to see one of the most successful drivers of its history returning, Reni Rast. In recent years, he's won 3 titles, but now has to find his way with GT3 machinery.
They're quite cool to be back. Lots of cars on track, lots of drivers, new cars. Everything is for me a bit new, but obviously, yeah, it's good to be back.
Many things have changed for this year, but it's already apparent that there is still one consistent factor in DTM. Superb racing is guaranteed. And this man wants to set the benchmark again, Renee Rast.
I
got to know Rene throughout his years in DTM, apart from last year, which was a slight blemish in his career. But he has learned that he needs to be back in DTM again to get international respect. And we met up with the returnee. Wintry conditions on the 1st of April 2022 in Kempten on the north side of the Alps. But there's a spring feeling for one man, Renee Rast at Abt. We're there for the rendezvous with his new company car. It's love at first sight.
It's I think my most favorite car in DTM I've driven so far. Quite beautiful. I like The color, obviously also the matte tone I like a lot. So hopefully it's as quick as it looks.
Number 33 is back. After a one-year absence, DTM sees the return of one of its great stars. Reni Rast has made a real impact on the series, and his 3 titles are part of the legacy. And now the 35-year-old is ready for a new, but also different chapter.
I don't see it as a coming back. For me, it's a kind of a new challenge actually. It's like 2017 when I joined DTM the first time. It feels the same now because obviously it's a new era of DTM, new cars. So I feel the same now. I don't feel like I've won already 3 championships in DTM. Obviously I know that I did it, but this is new. So I feel completely like a rookie again.
A champion as a rookie? Now there's somebody trying to keep expectations low. But indeed, many things are new this year, not just the car, but also the team in DTM. Abt is a major name in motorsport, which becomes more than clear during a tour of the company's own museum.
Driving for Abt is always special. They've been the very iconic team, always when I raced in the junior categories and watched obviously the DTM. Abt was always there and has a lot of history, so it's quite special to drive for Team Abt in DTM as well.
At Abt, the goal of being a title contender is a tradition. This season with probably the strongest driver combination ever, Renee Rast and Kelvin Van Der Linde, 2 winners within one team.
It's always good to have quick drivers. Kelvin showed it last year that he can be quick and that he's quick, that he can be champion in future clearly. And with Reni, we don't have to say so much about him. Everybody knows he's quick, everybody knows he's a champion, a real champion. So I think the combination is very, very good. But it can be a luxury problem maybe in future because everybody wants to win.
Yeah, with Reni, obviously I have a great friend and at the same time a great racing driver as a teammate. Obviously he has the same equipment as me, so it's the ultimate test for both of us. We'll be sharing data, we'll be pushing each other on, and I think for the team it's a win-win, and we're going to try bring home the drivers and team championship for Abt Sportsline.
Renee Rast and Kelvin Van Der Linde, 2 men who like and respect each other, but no presents will be given on track. After all, there is only one winner in the end. To achieve what everybody here at Abt wants to celebrate again at last, the championship win.
Yeah, I think the motivation is bigger than ever. Obviously, Abt Sportsline or Abt Team Abt won the last time in DTM 2009, so it's more than 10 years ago. So the motivation within the team, within the company, but also within the drivers is quite huge because we want to be the first bringing the title back to Kempten, to Abt Sportsline.
It's about time they made their mark again here in the south of Germany, where they're eagerly anticipating a red-hot and successful season after a long winter.
Renee
is an excellent racing driver, and I like having him with us as the benchmark for all the other drivers. But in the meantime, we actually have many champions in the field, many young talents who are extremely strong, and it really intrigues me. From the earlier DTM, I recall him mastering every single aspect, and he was always one step ahead. Whether he can pull that off again in this era, we will see. After all, there are many challenges. With every new season, there are always new faces too, and new names to go with them. And his name is the biggest in motorsport history, Schumacher.
I joined the footsteps of my father and my uncle, so it's quite nice to be here.
Like his uncle Michael and his father Ralph, it is now son David's turn to live up to the name. The famous surname is a commitment, almost an obligation to succeed.
There's no expectations for me. I just want to learn how it works with the car, learn how to work with the team and also with AMG. So it's most important for me just to learn as much as possible.
For 20-year-old David Schumacher, the challenge in DTM is an enormous one. The step from single-seaters to the DTM car is anything but easy.
It's completely different, it's not comparable. I mean, the Formula car, especially the Formula 3 car, mostly runs with aerodynamics. And the GT cars are not as efficient with the aerodynamics, but mechanically they're much more work.
It's going to be exciting for him to be in this new world, GT world, a car which is really heavy and different. Close racing will be something new for him also.
So it takes some time to find my rhythm.
Other newcomers have fewer problems with this, like Nicky Teen. His father Kurt once raced in DTM 2. He even became champion in 1986. Teen himself is familiar with GT3 racing. In 2013, he won the legendary 24-hour race at the Nürburgring.
As a person, as a son, to have a former champion as a father, the dream has always been to drive DTM. That's basically what kicked off my career. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to this spectacular season now and finally to be here.
Like Team, this man is racing a Lamborghini too, Mirko Bortolotti. The 32-year-old already managed to surprise last year. He sensationally came in second in Assen, scoring the best result of the season for the Italian brand.
Great memories from that weekend, and yeah, definitely hungry for more. Looking forward to the year. It's gonna be, I think, a really nice year. The fans will enjoy it for sure.
Lamborghini, the only permanently entered brand not to score a win last year. This is set to change quickly in 2022, and being successful is also the goal for newcomer Porsche. With Norway's Dennis Olsen, they have the necessary talent behind the wheel.
We are working as hard as we can to really prepare ourselves for the race season, and being in such a good team as SSR, I think this is a good starting point, and we'll work hard and hopefully we get the results we wish for.
The youngest driver in the field, though, is Marius Zug, only 19 years old. He's raced in Italian GT for the past 2 years, preparing to be able to compete now with the likes of Reni Rast, Marco Vittman and Maximilian Gutz.
It's a huge honor racing against these experienced guys, and they have done everything they wanted to achieve, but I think it's a big challenge for everyone because the level is just so high. Maybe I'm not as experienced as others, but the youth can make it up, hopefully.
All of this year's newcomers are self-confident. And logically, because no other series has proven so often in the past that even rookies can become a champion right away.
We've seen in
the past and also last year that DTM drivers can also make the step up to Formula 1, the top category in motorsport. This means that Formula 1 keeps an eye on DTM drivers who succeed here and demonstrate that their performances are suited to Formula 1. In 2021, new faces in DTM made their mark on multiple occasions. Let's look back at last season. It wasn't until the final race of the season, on the 10th of October, that the battle for the championship was decided at the Norisring. Up until then, we'd had much to enjoy. The journey was tough, and it was an emotional one. The journey that ended with these words.
I don't know what to say. But this is the greatest feeling ever had.
The journey that had started 4 months earlier. Last season, the DTM got underway in Italy, at Monza, a racetrack full of history. It was here that the new era of DTM started, as the grid was filled with GT race cars for the first time. The race got underway with a spectacular Indy-style start.
Right on cue, here they come over the grid hatchings. And all the waiting is over. Now it's all about the racing. It's all about the red lights, which are about to go out, about to be extinguished. They creep up towards the line, side by side, and the race gets underway. DTM 2021 is go!
Surprisingly, it was Frenchman Vincent Abril who claimed the first pole position. But it was this man who scored the first win, Liam Lawson, becoming the youngest ever DTM race winner at 19 with the Red Bull Ferrari. A fantastic start for the new racing team.
It is Liam Lawson that is making his way out of the Parabolica for the Red Bull AF Corsa team. He wins the first round of the DTM 2021 season with a superb demonstration of driving.
I'm really happy with today's race. It was a first time for everything for me. Yeah, to win in Italy in Monza in a Ferrari is definitely something special.
Mercedes made its DTM comeback in Italy, and the brand from Stuttgart made it back onto the podium right away, with 2 drivers. Vincent Abril came second with his Mercedes AMG, German Maximilian Götz finished third.
Great to be back in DTM and starting the season already with a podium. So this was already on the list since many years now, and finally it happens.
The second day of racing already made it clear just how close it would be in this DTM season. Incredible race action, featuring 3 drivers and 3 brands.
What about second place? Liam Lawson trying to come back down the inside now. Oh, it's a tight squeeze. Bonner's on the curbs. Lawson's around the outside, and here comes Kelvin Van Der Linde. It's going to be 3 abreast. You've got Esteban Moot just behind as well, and Kelvin Van Der Linde goes through.
It was door-to-door racing. This is why we love DTM how it is now.
Yeah, it's seriously high level, and it showed me today that they are aggressive, yeah, we'll race you seriously hard.
He kept out of it and benefited from the duels being had by others.
Yes, get ready, boys! We did it!
Kelvin Van Der Linde claimed pole position and later also victory with the Audi. And that was on his 25th birthday.
It's a dream, man. It's an absolute dream to come dream so many years of DTM. Growing up, I never dreamed of Formula 1. This was my final destination, and to do that this year, and to definitely come back and win the first race of the season or the first weekend of the season is such a proud moment.
Because of his victory, the South African headed home as the points leader after the first race weekend. And during the second race weekend at Lausitz, it also became evident just how unpredictable the 2021 DTM season would be. Points leader Kelvin Van Der Linde missed out on the podium by finishing 4th on Saturday. And somebody who hadn't featured thus far kept it cool, even at 30 degrees. And strong nerves were needed. At almost 250 kilometers an hour, the GT race cars were roaring through turn 1, where courage was required.
It is fast, it is seriously quick, and in the race, when you've done 25 laps on a set of tyres, you can feel that rear left starting to want to go, and it's quite a nervous feeling.
The spectators, admitted in again for the first time, really enjoyed it. They also cheered for the winner, Switzerland's Felipe Ellis, who'd only started from 9th on the grid, but still came out on top.
Hey boys, let's go! Unbelievable! Thank you so much.
Absolutely speechless. I was actually thinking about what to say on the in-lap after I knew that we just won the race. And I couldn't think of anything. I was actually starting to cry a little bit in the car because there's just so many emotions going through you.
Following Marcel Fessler and Nico Müller, Mercedes driver Ellis became only the 3rd Swiss driver in DTM history to add his name to the winners list. And DTM remained unpredictable. The 4th race produced the 4th different victor and another first-time race winner. Initially, Ellis looked like the first driver able to win 2 races this season. Having claimed pole position, he also remained in control at the start. But then Ellis lost out in the duels with Lawson and Van Der Linde. After Lawson stalled his engine during the pit stop, and when Van Der Linde's Audi briefly slowed down out of the blue, Mercedes driver Maximilian Götz was crowned as the winner.
Out of the final corner, he now comes. He roars for the line, he flashes the lights, and Max Götz wins in the DTM for the first time.
Congrats. Great, Maxi. Congrats. Really well. Well done. Nice race. Great job.
Really great. So I was freaking out when I crossed the finish line. It's very emotional. I've been in this series now nearly 2.5 years.
Having raced already in DTM in 2015 and 2016, it was only now that Götz scored his maiden win. It wasn't enough for the championship lead though, as Kelvin Van Der Linde was still on top. Next up, Liam Lawson. Even at this early stage of the season, a duel for the title between these two already seemed a distinct possibility. The third DTM race weekend was a trip down memory lane. The venue, Zolder. It was here in Belgium that the first ever DTM race was held back in 1984. Following the start, there was early drama. The two Mercedes drivers, Daniel Hunkadea and Arjun Maini, collided. Also involved was New Zealander Liam Lawson. His early retirement was a setback in the title battle.
I don't know why we have to be so aggressive and because it's such a long race, you know.
Kelvin Van Der Linde made use of the opportunity that arose. He pushed hard, really hard, and became the first driver to score a second win of the season.
Perfect day, pole and win. Congratulations.
Yeah, man, awesome job, guys. Thanks, man. Good job, team. Thanks. Also, mega for Mike.
Feels amazing. You definitely can't get used to winning in this championship. So many top-class drivers, especially today, you know, having Alex and Mike behind me. I mean, two top-class drivers. You know, they were in my mirror all the time. We try to stay calm.
In the second race at Zolder, however, Kelvin Van Der Linde had nothing to laugh about. In part due to the performance weight, he could only finish 8th. The one to benefit most was Marco Vittman. From pole position, the BMW driver put together an impressively commanding race. The first win of the season for the two-time DTM champion.
Well done, Marco! Yeah! Woo! Guys, we won the DTM race!
We never expected when we came here that we have any chance really. But from Friday onwards, our package was that strong really. I felt super good in the car. So yeah, just amazing.
Thanks to the first ever DTM win for the Volkenhorst team, Vittman improved to 4th in the driver's standings, waiting for his chance. It was back to Germany for round 4. In the first race in the Eifel, this man was setting the tone once more, Kelvin Van Der Linde. He again claimed pole position, something he would do 5 times in 2021. Nobody else secured more pole positions, and the 3 points that came with each one. And what's more, the South African even made it a hat-trick on the day, with pole, fastest race lap, and victory.
He said we weren't quite on the pace yesterday in practice, but he's on the pace today. It's going to be a third win of the season for Kelvin Van Der Linde, and he extends his championship lead in the DTM.
Yes, boys, thank you.
What nobody knew at the time was that this third win would be the penultimate time of the season that he stood on the podium. His rival Lawson, on the other hand, had his worst weekend at Nürburgring. On Saturday, the Ferrari driver ended up 13th, having been tapped into a spin. On Sunday, he retired. Decisive was his mistake that triggered this collision.
And there's more contact here. Rockefeller sent round into a full spin. Lawson stands on the brakes to avoid it. Esteban Moot has to go way out wide.
Lawson's error triggered the collision with Mike Rockenfeller and points leader Kelvin Van Der Linde, the latter not scoring any points for the first time.
I saw Liam in the mirror. I knew he was there. I just didn't think he would be, let's say, maybe stupid is the wrong word, but brave enough to really go for the move. There were 2 cars on my outside, and 4 into 1 definitely doesn't work.
As a result, Lawson was only 5th in the standings. Still, there was a victory for Ferrari, thanks to Lawson's teammate Alex Albon. The Red Bull Formula 1 reserve driver became the first ever DTM race winner from Thailand.
Alex Albon into the chicane for the final time, and an historic moment because Alex Albon is going to win his first DTM race. It's going to be a second win for Ferrari.
Fantastic job, man. Fantastic job. Whoa! Yes, guys. Well done.
That made it 6 different winners with 4 different brands from 8 races. Incredible. Moreover, Marco Vittman with BMW was the only title contender to have scored points in every race. Was this consistency going to pay off on the way to a major triumph? The spectators were definitely the winners at Nürburgring. There were 23 cars on the grid for the DTM Spectacular, the highest number in many years. More duels, more action. A weekend that was huge fun. The second half of the season started in Austria, and it was a Ferrari driver who celebrated a mega party, putting himself back into contention for the title. Prior to the Red Bull Ring round, no driver had managed to win both races during one weekend so far in 2021. But New Zealand's Liam Lawson made up for his worst weekend of the season by having his best.
Yeah, Liam, excellent job. That's back where we belong. P1. Congratulations, mate. Yes, guys, yes. Good job, really good job.
Obviously, very good. It's a great way to start the second half of the season. We had a really difficult last couple of rounds, so to do what we did this weekend is pretty special.
Mercedes driver Götz was by no means unsuccessful. Götz managed to finish on the podium on both days, something he hadn't done before. 1 second and 1 third place finish. Götz, who was never able to claim a pole position throughout the season, kept his title chances alive.
I think compared to the other Mercedes AMG cars, I have to be happy. The guys in front were a bit too quick for us, but in the end I'm satisfied, to be honest, to getting the points and 2 very nice trophies.
The performance in Austria underlined that the battle for the title was unpredictable and would likely only be decided on the final day of racing. For the last time in 2021, DTM left Germany. The next venue, Assen in the Netherlands. Tension in the championship battle was rising, as became immediately apparent at the start of the first race.
I saw the lights were going green, and people around me started to try to get the start going, but obviously the leader was not willing to go.
It is Lawson on the left of the picture, the pole sitter, about to get them underway with Marco Vittman alongside the green lights, and we are racing, and Maxi Götz gets a good start as he tries to draw alongside now from the second row of the grid. Bertolotti's got the inside line, it's going to be Lawson in the lead.
I can go whenever, well, the leader can go whenever he wants in that box. I left it till basically the line, and I think the guys behind were obviously getting quite eager to go, so maybe, I don't know if there was some stuff going on behind me, but I just did something different this time, and from my side it worked at least.
Admittedly, Liam Lawson didn't win with his Ferrari, but still scored his 7th podium finish, more than anyone else at that time. He collected valuable points for 3rd place, and as Kelvin Van Der Linde only came 12th and didn't score any, Lawson took the points lead for the first time since the opening race of the season.
Really good news. Yeah, it's obviously very positive. We definitely got lucky today, but we definitely had to work hard for it. There was a lot going on. I touched quite often with a couple of cars, so from our side it was just about surviving and scoring as many points as possible.
Unbeatable on the day was Marco Vittman with his BMW. In spite of a 5-second penalty, nobody could stop him taking his 2nd win of the season.
Oh, you guys! Oh, yeah! Yeah, Marco! Fantastic! What a drive! Thank you, guys. Thanks. Yeah, it's a P1.
Not Vittman, not Lawson, not Götz, not Van der Linde, but it was somebody else who dominated the 2nd race at Assen. Austria's Lucas Auer put in a dominant display aboard his Mercedes.
The Austrian comes through the final few swoops and turns. The checkered flag awaits. And here the Mercedes comes. Lucas Auer takes the checkered flag and wins here at Assen.
Yes, baby. Yes. Thanks for this day. Very good job. Thank you, guys.
The race was great. I had a mega start, mega first 2 laps. I really could open up a gap, which was good for our strategy in pit stop, where the guys did an amazing job. But after that, just Leon had more pace, more tire management, and I was more than happy that the race didn't take another lap.
Auer still had a mathematical chance of winning the title at that point, but the number of contenders had been reduced. Lawson headed home from Assen, leading Vittman by 10 points. Next up were Van Der Linde and Götz. Anticipation for the finale increased. In the previous year, the season finale was held at Hockenheim. Now instead, the path to the grand finale was set here. But one thing that was decided at Hockenheim was that the four-way title fight would be reduced to a three-way affair. For the first time, BMW's Marco Vittman failed to score any points on Saturday. And without any points on Sunday as well, his title hopes were blown.
I'm obviously going home with 0 points. 2 races left, obviously the championship is gone.
More than ever, meanwhile, this man underlined his title ambitions. Kelvin Van Der Linde. After 5 races without a podium result, he won the first race of the weekend. His rival Lawson only came 4th. Mike Rockenfeller overtaking him late in the race to claim a podium finish from 17th on the grid. Subsequently, he announced that he would be leaving Audi after 15 years. From an Audi perspective, Sunday was less positive. Kelvin Van Der Linde only finished 10th after this intense battle with title rival Lawson. The Ferrari driver from New Zealand came 2nd and headed to Nürburgring as the championship leader, 14 points clear.
Really happy with the weekends. It's a good position to go into the last round with, but we know how quickly things change, and next Saturday Kelvin's going to have the advantage with the weight, so we need to try and stay on top of that.
The day's winner was this man, Lucas Auer. The Austrian notched up his 2nd win of the season, and as a result, Mercedes were able to secure the manufacturer's title. The title decider came in Nuremberg, and the show started early.
And they get underway, and Liam Lawson has got his nose in front here. Kelvin Van Der Linde tucks into 2nd. Lucas Auer is just about 3rd, but Arjamani coming at him, and here comes Kelvin Van Der Linde down the inside into the hairpin, but he goes too deep, goes wide. Liam Lawson has to get out of the way. They're both going to drop down the order, I think, into the wall.
I still can't believe he went for the gap, really, because I was barely making the corner, and then I just see an Audi come down the inside.
I think he wants to drive it on the racetrack. Then you should probably do that in F1 where there's no racing, and you can drive on your own.
Van Der Linde finished only 4th, and Lawson came home 3rd. The key development was that one driver was making the title race even more thrilling.
Great job, guys! Oh my god!
To be honest, I was crying in the helmet, and I was really not really sacrificing what happened,
Going into the final day, Götz was 19 points down on Lawson, and Van Der Linde was 18 behind. Who would become the 2021 champion? The 16th race of the season answered that question, and it became a real thriller.
The championship decider is go, and it's Liam Lawson with a very good start. Van Der Linde down the inside of the curbs, contact between the top 3, they all go wide, and Liam Lawson and Nick Cassidy both stopped.
The same idiot takes you out twice.
There's contact, it's a contact sport in a way, also touring car racing.
The car is broken, mate, the car is broken. One six is smashed.
We wanted to make sure we put everything on the table, we wanted to make sure we fight for every last point.
Lawson was out of the running. Van Der Linde massively dropped back after a puncture, and that paved the way for the title for Götz.
It is going to be Maximilian Götz that comes through. The flag awaits, the championship title awaits Maximilian Götz. As the fireworks go off, he's the 2021 DTM champion. He takes the checkered flag, he takes all 25 points, and he takes the title.
I don't know what to say. But this is the greatest feeling ever had.
Winning my first DTM race here, and today 2nd race and be DTM champion is it's just outstanding. Describe the words. I don't believe it.
With 2 wins, Götz was firmly in control at Norisring and sealed the title, and at a circuit that's really close to his home. From a sporting perspective, 2021 really fascinated me. That is the most important thing, that the tension is kept up and that the equality of chances is there. With us, really every driver, also with different brands, has an identical chance of winning the championship. 80 kilometres west of the Norisring, we met him, the champion.
So we are in Uffenheim, that's my hometown where I grew up. I'm feeling great here, so all my friends, family are here. So when I'm not on the racetrack, you will find me here in the Schlawiner bar behind the Tresen. Okay, so I want to show you the Schlawiner bar from inside, so follow.
Due to COVID, the big champions party couldn't be celebrated yet, but it will come, as the bartender says.
Usually I'm behind the bar, you know, as a tender. So it's beside of motorsport, it's something nice to have, and also in free time and in the winter time, yeah, to have a different approach, to have different work to do, and also responsibility. And I think that's great. And I'm doing together with my dad, with my brother. So all involved, my whole family is involved.
You can't miss the name Götz here in Uffenheim. It's really beautiful here, but a particular attraction can be found in his office.
This is like the picture which I did at Norisring. It's really great. And I kissed it, of course. And I will do it like, not every day, but it's really nice memories.
That Sunday in October 2021 changed his life. The 36-year-old is now the driver to beat in DTM.
It's always nice to, first of all, have the number one on the car and to be the guy which is hunted from the others. It's also always a great feeling, but puts also a lot of pressure on it. Everybody is looking at you. Everybody wants to be faster than you.
He's aware of his new role, and it's good to be able to shift down a gear at home.
I'm so busy during the year, and I'm traveling a lot on the races, to testing, to PR events or stuff like that, and to come home to have a place which it's really not busy. You know, you can create your own timetable.
And this is always part of it. 3 scoops for Max.
Chocolate is one of my favorite ones, and strawberry, and of course lemon. So that's yeah, old school, yeah. So super, Dankeschön. That's my favorite ice combination. Danke dir.
A star without a star attitude. Down to earth, but always focused on success. Resting on his laurels is not an option. Max is looking for the maximum.
The biggest pressure I put on myself to defend the number one on the car, and to defend the title is always harder to get the title. There are not many back-to-back champion winners.
A new season, a new position, but will it be a different Götz?
As a person, I would say I'm more confident now. I'm really more relaxed. I achieved a big target in my life, winning the DTM title.
But in 2022, an entire city will be backing him for every race as well. From Uffenheim into the wide world of motorsport, Maximilian Götz has made his way.
All the people are supporting me, they are super proud. And I've got also a gold medal from the town. I was signing in the Golden Book, which is a special moment. It feels great to get all the support from the people.
And he could do with the support, because his rivals are very well prepared going into the new season. Salzburg, Austria. A new season always presents a new challenge for body and soul alike, especially the body, which needs to be trained to meet the physical requirements of DTM. At Ferrari, it's exactly this that's being monitored in Red Bull's Performance Center.
It's a nice opportunity for us to try being a better athlete, take care of our healthy, of our strength, and the best thing is that all the Red Bull athletes come here. Triathletes, or an F1 driver, or soccer player, you know.
It's their turn today, Nick Cassidy and Felipe Fraga. They are the new DTM duo for the AF Corsa team and have to get to the limit right away.
I really like that steering test. You know, we saw in social media when the F1 drivers came here, you know. It was fun, really painful, but it's good, you know, it's the opportunity to compare you with the best on the game.
They don't just want to be the best in the weights room though, but also on the track. At the end of March they met for the first time for some necessary fine-tuning and together cast first glance upon their new working machine.
I were looking some layouts before, but it's completely different than what they showed me, and I love it. I prefer this one.
So the new race car lived up to the expectations, and not just with its looks. Expectations are high after all. Last year AF Corsa won the team's title, but that should have been just an appetizer for more success.
Look, I think we're all here to win, together with Red Bull and AlphaTauri. We're aiming for that top spot, and last year proved that the team's got a really good base, and I hope that we can carry the momentum into this year.
For Nick Cassidy, this is a return to the DTM cockpit. In 2021 he stood in for Alex Albon during the Norisring season finale. Now the GT stalwart from New Zealand is set to bring in his experience.
I've been always following him in social media. He's been racing in Japan in the past, and I were already following him on the Instagram.
Now he wants to see it up close. Brazilian Felipe Fraga has the potential to become a star, having been at home in GT3 race series since 2018.
Someone I think maybe a little bit under the radar of some of the guys, but he's definitely going to be up there. He's racing all around the world.
Ferrari's new dream team will be separated straight away for the season opener in Portimao. A motorsport legend will be stepping in for Cassidy, 9-time World Rally champion Sebastian Loeb.
For sure, it's nice for me to be in DTM. It's a famous championship that I heard about since years. So for sure, it was exciting to do it. It's a nice challenge. I know it will be very tough. I have fun driving this kind of cars. I like this kind of races. So I will do my best, and we will see.
Uncertain as Ferrari's role in this new DTM season may be, there is no doubt that they are fit to challenge. They have proven as much. Ferrari is there, part of a terrific field. It was especially important to have this quantity of cars on the grid without any compromises in terms of quality, and that makes me especially happy this year that we have the best teams with the best drivers and the best brands on the grid. And one of the best is driving a BMW. It's a foggy day at the Norisring.
Quite a special place for me, being here, obviously knowing that's my home racetrack, knowing that on the big grandstands you have all the fans, all the support.
The view may be murky, but his memories are clear when talking about this circuit, one that is so special to him.
Not only at the race weekend, even now it's something very special. It even brings me goosebumps on the skin, knowing that I won here in 2018. I remember that day a lot when I stepped out of the car, and then I went from the paddock actually over the racetrack to the fans, to the grandstand, and celebrated my win, which you cannot do in any other track. This was a magic moment for me.
Yeah, baby! Yeah!
For Marco, the 2014 and 2016 seasons were magic as well. He was crowned as the DTM champion both times. And it was here at Norisring where the foundations for his career were laid.
For us in the Whitman family, it is definitely a motorsport thing. The whole family was always in motorsport, especially cars involved. My grandfather started uphill races together with his brother already back in the times, as well with BMWs.
For Marco Vittman, it was never a question of if, only when he would begin competing in motorsport.
It started in go-kart, obviously. I mean, at the very early stage, it's more about fun, more about a hobby. But then when you get this feeling that the hobby becomes more and more professional, then you have that feeling that this can become maybe a big story in your life. I think I was around the age of 14, where I had this feeling, okay, this passion can drive you to something big, you know.
In 2022, he wants to achieve big things again. BMW's last champion and the only driver to have scored wins for the Munich-based brand in 2021 at Zolder and Assen. This year, more wins are the goal, to end that streak without a title success.
Well, my expectations this year is something special because we have a new car on the grid. With the new BMW M4 GT3, it's the first season going into the DTM. So we still need to learn the new car. We need to find the right setup window for the car. I have a good feeling. The car has a lot of potential.
Plenty of potential. That can also be said about Vittman's new teammate, Esteban Moot, for whom Marco Vittman isn't just any driver, but one that, forgive the pun, gets under his skin.
He's definitely a nice guy. I think we had last year a lot of fun, a lot of love. Obviously, the biggest story was the bet between me and him. It was a tattoo bet. He actually got a tattoo on his skin, and then obviously I did it as well on the arm. The 11, my starting number, means something very, very special. I'm pretty proud to have it finally on my skin. Well, it actually all started when I became the first-time champion in 2014. Obviously, when you become champion, you can choose the number one for the next or for the following season, which I did in 2015. But for me, the number one never brought me any luck. I decided then the year after, in 2016, I start with the number 11, and that was the year when I became the second-time champion. And obviously, 2 champion titles, so twice the number one means 11. And as I'm also born in November, for me the number 11 from that time onwards, so from 2016 onwards, it just matches perfectly.
So it just fits. And that's what Vittman wants to say at the end of the season as well, about the new car, about his new teammate. A pair of wins here at Norisring would certainly be helpful en route to the title. A title that so many want this year.
I
look at the field and ask myself who will come out on top. But I think that half of the drivers on the grid have the chance of becoming champion. Right now, it's the question that everyone in DTM is thinking about a lot. The one that gets DTM drivers worried. The question that's asked the most frequently. But also the one that's the most difficult to answer. Who will become the 2022 champion?
This year I have to say myself.
Me. KVDL. What kind of question is that?
The battle for the DTM title, more unpredictable than ever.
The goals are pretty much the same every year. I think every driver wants to win the championship.
Because it's my second year and it was 1 year to learn.
There are, I think, 15 drivers who will go for it, or maybe even more.
And now I have to perform.
There are so many really good drivers on the grid this year, so many potential champions out there, so it's really, really difficult for me to pick one.
And yet, 3 stand out. 3 who've already proven that they are mature enough for title wins. First and foremost, Reni Rast as a 3-time champion, but also Marco Vittman, finally with his hands on the new BMW and therefore with freshly boosted confidence. And thirdly, the one who was the first DTM champion since the GT3 regulations were introduced. Maximilian Götz, the surprise winner in 2021.
I think there are many wants to win. First of all, they needs to beat me, needs to beat Renee maybe, because we were the guys who are get hunts maybe from the others. So I think the pressure is on our shoulders now to make the best, to put the pressures on the others to make mistakes.
Avoiding mistakes, that's what it's all about. But also about being the first to cross the finish line.
There will be weekends where you will not be able to fight for a win.
And it's then when you need to, still score the small points, and when you have the opportunity and the package to win races, that's when you need to score the big points. And I think consistency will be key.
You have to be good in qualifying. That makes your life much easier in the races.
I think it's just about really scoring points at every race and making sure that you're always in the mix without any DNFs. It's going to be a lot of cars on the grid as well, and that's going to lead to a lot of accidents, I'm pretty sure.
The 2022 DTM season. It's clear that the title race is wide open, and it's every bit as obvious that this season will be a cracker. One question remains. What is it that Gerhard Berger is looking forward to most? First of all, I hope that we have a season that's as trouble-free as last year, that all the teams are happy, that the drivers are happy, and that we'll see the hardest fights at the highest level in sporting terms. And the other thing is to have fans back again. We need the emotion at the racetrack. We need the fans back at the racetrack. And I believe that this should be possible again this year. I'm really looking forward to that. Soon the action begins, for Gerhard Berger too, in the Algarve rather than the Alps. And so to Portimao in Portugal for the 2022 DTM season.